workout in the 2017 Ford Focus RS. One of the most fun cars I've ever driven in my whole life. And a true performance bargain for 2017, if you can get one. So out for a very speedy drive review in track mode with the suspension on firm and the pedal on the floor. So we want to talk about three things in this video. The first one is the Focus RS performance credentials, stats, and how it delivers that performance. Second one is how it compares to rivals like the Golf R and WRX STI. And then the third bullet is what exactly is on this particular RS and the availability situation for 2017 with the RS. Alright, so diving in performance mode, I'm genuinely having a hard time talking through this, as well as driving this car because it's that fast. The RS is like a stunt hero. I mean, this car is like feels like it's in a pretty different league than the Golf R in terms of its raw capability. I'm going to turn off the performance dampers here. We got a car in front of us. Turn off the performance dampers. Give us a little more, a little less bounce on the road here versus having the performance dampers on. Big thing with Focus RS, of course, is 350 horsepower, 2.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making 350 foot-pounds of torque as well, which is amazing and really definitely feels it on the road. And the next thing is a very unique GKN TwinSter all-wheel drive system that allows super active torque vectoring in the rear end. And the third big upgrade is its grip package and suspension and aero tweaks. So this engine itself is a hero. We got almost a cold air cone intake in front. Pass this gently. Cold air cone intake. And really just sonorous rally style burble from up front and in back. You've even got a little burp from the rear exhaust, or from the exhaust. Really just delightful at all times. So this 350 horsepower engine is super potent and really much more powerful than Golf R, both on paper as well as in the real world. So 350 plays 292. And the next thing is this all-wheel drive system, which is totally new for 2017 and only available on the Focus RS. So it's from the supplier in Germany called GKN. So I had to learn about this kind of quickly right now and learn about what exactly it is. And essentially what this all-wheel drive system does is uses twin clutches on the rear end. So there's a clutch for the back right wheel and a clutch for the back left wheel that can be engaged in 0.06 seconds. And that allows you to have super precise levels of control of the rear end, and also allows it to overdrive that rear end pretty dramatically and give it more of the torque split. So you can do up to 70% of the torque split to the back end. Really strong front Brembo brakes. 70% of the power can go to the back, and that can be locked in via the track mode. And then in the drift mode, you not only lock in more of a split to the back, but you have a really aggressive side-to-side transfer that locks up the rear end and allows you to hang the tail out, which is unreal in an all-wheel drive hatch, to be able to use the drift mode and really swing the tail out really on command. I'm not going to do it on this road because I don't want to get us in it's a pretty narrow road to be trying to experiment with drifting in corners, but it really does work, and it's a game changer for allowing you to have that much control over the rear end of the car. And in the rest of driving, beyond the regular drift mode stuff, is this all-wheel drive system actively anticipates a brake and traction based on a performance drive module. So it really is sending power to the back extremely aggressively, and much more so than any other front-wheel drive based all-wheel drive system. So the TwinSter setup really just allows the center axle that runs out of the front transfer case and to the back to really just make the most of being able to shift power 100%, left and right in the rear axle. So these are really like on paper they sound kind of like, okay, so whatever, it's an all-wheel drive system. But on the road, the Focus RS then becomes just absolutely ravenous. I mean, it is so intense around corners with this torque vectoring control. and really precise, really super high performance feel, especially in this track and drift mode like we've got now. Alright, I'm coming out. So I'm gonna go back on this little highway here. We'll do a little acceleration, then we'll go back on our twisty road there. So fast. 4.7 seconds to 60 miles an hour is the sprint time. Down to about 4.6 with the RS2 package and the Michelin Pilot Super Sport Cup tires on here as equipped. So really just a very, very speedy machine, and it definitely feels it. 6-speed manual transmission is the only available configuration and is divine. Still sits at like a pretty low 3,000 RPM when you're on the highway to about 80 miles an hour, but has super low first, second, third, you know, super low gearing like you want in a rally rocket like this. So absolutely stellar. So the all-wheel drive system is really, really special and takes a little bit of time to get to know. Of course, you've got drive modes with normal, sport, track, and then drift mode. So I've been in track this whole time, which automatically engages like a really aggressive, super active rear end, and then and really firm steering that is extremely feelsome. You've got a fixed rate steering on this car versus the variable in the ST, because they wanted the RS to have a little bit more control and a little bit more predictability. Wow, fast when you are drifting and heading sideways. So, just really a stunning machine. So this all-wheel drive system is really, really special and makes it feel very different than the Golf R and the WRX STI. Much more so, just a really alive in your hands type of feel that feels extremely rear biased in track and drift mode that is not available on either of those cars. I mean, the Golf R is primarily a front drive car until it needs to send power to the back, and the WRX STI, as we know, is like a 50-50 like locked split front rear almost all the time. So it doesn't vary that power back and forth. Whereas Focus RS can go up to 70% of the power to the back, and then from that, within that back axle, you've got the availability to tweak the to lock in. Basically, like when the left side like clutch locks, for example. Oh my goodness. Like when the left wheel's clutch locks, for example, then it's delivering like full power to that outside wheel. So it essentially just overdrives the back in general, and then around certain corners it'll exceptionally aggressively overdrive the outside back tire to really pull you back in. So this sounds like something like all the manufacturers say that their all-wheel drive systems do, but this Ford does it in a really superb way that is extremely noticeable and extremely unique in its effect on the handling of the Focus RS. Oh my god, this car drives so great. So I'm going to put it in drift mode for this run down our twisty road here. I'm not really actively trying to drift, but having it in drift mode will encourage some extra frisky handling dynamics. You put it in drift mode and you automatically notice like, hey, the front steering goes like a little bit lighter, just because it's getting less of that drive power and more of it going to the back. So it feels lighter up front and a lot pointier.